Oh, right, before we start today's video, please don't fast forward, just listen to me very carefully. I know a lot of my videos are messing around and acting the goat, but this one's quite a very serious video. And I will start by saying, I'm not left-wing, I'm not right-wing, and I'm not political at all. In fact, I believe this left and right wing thing is something that's put there to get us to fight against each other. Really, we should be above, because we're both on the same team. You need two wings to fly a plane. Now, the evil government, EV, pun on words there, the evil government and the evil dictators are actually lying to us. They're not actually telling us the truth about electric cars. I'm going to tell you the truth today. We're going to go on a little journey and I'm going to let you know into a few, not really secrets to me, but things about electric cars that they're not telling you. It's all an agenda, in my opinion. I will say that to protect myself. And I need you to do me a favour as well. I've asked you before, and I need you to subscribe to the channel. And what that does, it'll make the channel more popular, it'll push it out to more people, and we might be able to get the message out there that electric cars are not the way forward. And we're being brainwashed into thinking that they are, and the powers that be and the governments that be are trying to push these things onto us. And they're also being unfair. They're putting motor manufacturers and motor dealers into administration. Look, recently with Vauxhall in Luton, they're closing the plant, and I think there's 1,200 people or 1,100 people. Watchers listening to me. There we go. There's 1,100 people been made redundant because they're being told they have to produce a certain amount of electric cars, and then the motor dealers are being told they've got to sell a certain amount of electric cars. But think about this: the ministers and the prime ministers and the evil dictators, they're not driving electric cars. You've got the prime minister driving around in a Range Rover, but telling you that you should drive an electric car. Now, think about it. Why is this? There is a hidden agenda with it. And I can tell you from owning an electric car for 3 years that they're not fit for purpose. And as I said before, there is no left wing and right wing. In my opinion, they're all being controlled by the same powers that be above, a puppet master or whatever. So please do hit the subscribe button, do give us a thumbs up, which is down below, it pushes the video out, and also please share it across social media and to all your friends. We're going to take a journey today, and I'm going to tell you the first thing, it being cold by the way, is quite apt. I'm going to tell you the first negative about an electric car. We're going to take a journey from here in Mansfield. I've come to see my elder children here, and we're going to take a journey all the way up to the Lake District, which is about 100, I'm going to guess about 140 miles, like that. We'll tell you in the car. And I'm going to tell you the drawbacks of electric cars, and there are many of them. There's not many positives, to be fair, so please do share the video, hit the subscribe button. It is vital to get this message out before we end up with no motor manufacturing here in the UK. It'll all come over from China, and we'll be stuck. We won't be going anywhere. Anyway, thanks for listening to my intro, and thanks for not fast forwarding. Now, without further ado, my friends, let's go. Tesla girls, Tesla girls, Tesla... OMD song. Now then, there are lots of YouTube channels out there that will tell you that electric cars are fantastic. Just beware though, because a lot of them are actually funded by the government to push their propaganda and trying to get you to buy an electric car. So be very, very careful. I can't tell you which ones that they are. You know, I don't want to get into trouble. Oh, my car is fully charged. There we go. So just be... That's iced up, so just be very careful. As I say, I've owned an electric car for 3 years, and I'm going to go into the first major problem and drawback with electric cars. That's cold, let me just wind this back up. So a lot of EV owners will say, well, I bet you can't fill up your tank while you're sleeping at night, and it's a lot cheaper to charge at home. Well, it is for now, but don't forget, when they first started pushing electric cars, they pushed onto you, oh, no road tax, it's cheaper, etc. Congestion charges, well, you won't be charged that. And also low emission zones, you won't be charged that. But now they're backtracking on that. Think about this. At the moment, yes, it might be cheaper to charge at home. It certainly isn't when you're out and about. I'll show that in a bit. But we've got smart meters in a house, so eventually they'll know whether you're charging a car or whether you're charging a mobile phone or switching your kettle on. And I guarantee you this, they will tax you up to here for charging your electric car, because they're not going to give it you for less, are they? They're going to lose out from all the petrol and the fuel and the diesel, etc. Just think about that. Come on, onwards. It's saddening to see, really, because if you look at motor manufacturers like Porsche, for instance, they're scrambling around trying to make electric cars and build electric cars against their will, really. They had fantastic cars like the 911 with brilliant engines in that have been engineered over many years, and now they're having to build battery operated cars, and it's going to be their downfall, like with Vauxhall as well. They've just laid a load of people off, as I've said, and also Ford as well. And all these motor manufacturers are being told they have to hit a target. The government shouldn't be able or be allowed to get involved in companies like this and tell them what they've got to do and what they've got to produce. Electric cars are not the future. They've never been the future. There's more of a hidden agenda to it than you actually know, and we need to wake up to it. There's a lot of people being brainwashed out there, who I like to call evangelists, who are just completely brainwashed on electric cars. And the reality of them, they're an absolute nightmare. And if you think that they're more environmentally friendly, think again, because you're just moving it from one place to another. It doesn't work. Yet we're being told that we must drive an electric car. If the government get their way, then nobody will be driving anywhere. So please share the video and do hit that subscribe button. It does make a difference. I can't fight this fight alone. I need your help to fight this fight and put an end to electric cars. We know they're no good. That's why Jeremy Clarkson and James May, they've all finished Top Gear, because they know electric cars are rubbish. Jeremy Clarkson said it himself, and he knows about cars, whether you like him or not. Come on. Right, first major drawback with electric cars. This is the Porsche Taycan, as you well know if you've watched the channel, not going into that. But in summer, you will get, at a push, on average, and at best, probably I would say 260 miles of range, 265 miles of range at 100%. Now, because it's cold and it's freezing, and we know that batteries don't like extremities, extreme heat, or indeed extreme cold, it's going to get 211 miles of range. Now think about this. Yes, all right, it may be at the moment cheaper to charge at home, but out on the road where I'm going to be, it's an absolute fortune. You can pay 85 pence per kilowatt or whatever it is. I paid to put in, I think the other day, about 50 or 60%. I paid about £49. It's ridiculous. So the colder it gets, the more it's going to cost you to charge, because you're not going to get as many miles and as much range out of your car. And don't forget also, this car I've had now 3 years, and the battery has degraded over them 3 years. When I first had it in the cold, you'd probably get round about 220 miles. Not anymore. It's depleting. So the older the car gets, the less mileage you're going to get, because the battery's degrading. Now think about this even further. If that's so, where does that leave these electric cars? Second hand. So the second hand market is going to be absolutely abysmal. Now we're being told in the news that the second hand electric car market is growing. I personally think that is all just propaganda. I just think it's all pushed out there. It's crackers. Please listen to me. Do not buy an electric car. Don't listen to the government. In my opinion, I'm just saying in my opinion, I'm covering myself, because eventually I'll be told that I can't tell you anything negative about electric cars without being imprisoned, that is. So please don't buy one. Just go and get a nice petrol car that'll last for years and years. For instance, my girlfriend's car diesel VW Golf. I think it's about 16-year-old now. It's still going. It's fantastic, and it costs hardly anything. We've got Ed Miliband at the moment in the UK pushing all electric cars, etc. I mean, and again, I'm not political, I'm not left or right, I'm above, they're all controlled. This guy is telling you to buy an electric car. I mean, let's look at the guy, all right? Let's get in the car, let's go. Or should I say onwards? Oh, right, okay, let's get on the way. So I've got a couple of stop-offs to make as well. I've got to go to Meadowhall, which I cannot abide, but I've got to go there to turn that down. Let's go through what we've got. So we've got 200, it's saying 211 miles of range now. It's just changed. Okay, let's pop in the destination. So I'm going to use Waze here to tell me how many miles we've got. I'm actually going to have to put my demisters on as well. That's going to take the range down. Here we go. Right, let's reverse out of here. Now, I've got the car loaded up with stuff, by the way. I've got a mountain bike in the back, an electric one, funnily enough. I've got bags, cases, so I'm quite loaded down, which is also going to take the range off as well. Why is my phone not showing up here? Here we go, come on. I'll tell you what, I'll come back to you in a minute. Technology. Right, managed to sort it. We've got 168 miles to go to the destination to get up to the Lake District. We've got 205 miles of range. Now, I'm going to have to charge on the way up because I need enough charge, because my destination, I haven't got a charger there, so I need to get a charge there as well. So we'll probably charge at Porsche South Lakes because that is subsidised. So the charger there is subsidised. I can tell you the exact amount of how much it's going to cost me. InstaVolt and GridServe are absolutely outrageous prices. I've charged with them before. You could be looking at twice the price of what you're paying to fill up a diesel. It's absolute madness, yet we're told it's cheaper. Now, they're just basing that upon charging it at home, and I know if you use Octopus Energy, etc., but as I said earlier on, that's not going to last forever. They're going to change the goalposts. It's nuts, and I feel quite strongly about it because they're ruining motor manufacturing in the UK and globally, other than China. Got a call coming in now. You're taking up my battery. I'll see you in a minute. Right, okay, back with you. So, at the moment now, we've got 201 miles of range, 164 miles to go. Don't forget, I've got to stop off at Meadowhall. Now, interestingly enough, at the moment, I've got the heaters on because it is cold outside. In fact, it is 4.5 degrees centigrade. And obviously colder is when you go into the wind, haven't you, and the wind chill. Now, watch this. I'm going to switch off the heater on here, right? So we've got 200 miles now of range, and I'm going to switch off the heater. Now we've got 220 miles of range. Now I've switched off the heater. We're losing 20 miles of range because of the heater, right? Because we've got the heating system on in the car. So if I turn it back on again, now I could actually, yeah, straight down to 200 miles again. So we're losing 20 miles of range. We're losing just because of the heater. Now, interestingly enough, if it goes on to limp mode, which is if we're getting low on charge and we're trying to get to the next charger because they're only at certain points, you end up freezing your backside off, because what it does then, it puts it in eco mode, so it turns the heating system on the lowest, etc., and puts your screen off on here and turns a load of the systems off on it. And this is where we're at with electric cars. If you've got a diesel and you switch your heater on, I mean, I don't think that, how much diesel does that? I don't think it takes anything. Let me know in the comment section. I mean, it just takes it from the engine, I think, doesn't it? But it's madness. We're actually living in a world where it's just crackers. Now, read the comment section on this video as well. I have lots of evangelists that really, and I delete none of them, they hammer into me and give me a real ribbing because I'm going against the agenda, the EV agenda, saying that I'm a liar, I'm not doing it right, I'm not charging right, I'm not using the chargers right. And then one of them said last week, you left Leeds, you should have charged there at home. Sarah hasn't got a charger at her house and she won't have one fitted. I've said, can you have one fitted? She said, I'm not having an EV charger fitted. So there is no charger at Leeds, so I couldn't charge before I left. So they're always trying to find an excuse as to what I've done wrong. And the fact of the matter is, I've done nothing wrong. You shouldn't have to plan your journey. You shouldn't have to do it a certain way. What you should be able to do is go to a filling station, fill up and on your way and have miles. Sarah's car, for instance, nearly 600 miles, I'd say, on a tank full of diesel for what, 60 quid? It's way better. I mean, 600 miles, you won't get that in this. So we need to, police, 1 second. There we go. He's not in an electric car. We need to stop this absolute madness with the government's pushing the EV agenda. I'm going to try it for as long as I can before it gets stopped. So I'm not going to babble on. I've got a couple of things that I want to tell you and I want to show you along the way about my charging, etc., and show you how long it takes to charge as well, because I've got to precondition the battery, because with it being cold it'll take longer to charge. So I've got to go on here, precondition my battery before I get there. Now bear this in mind, if I let the car's charge go too low, right, bear with me, I know it sounds a bit boring, if I let the car's charge go too low, I can't precondition my battery, which means warm it up or cool it down so it charges quicker, because you need enough charge in it to do that. So you've got to precondition it at the right time. It's just madness, isn't it? By the way, as I said earlier on, this is not just a Labour thing. This is Conservatives been pushing this agenda as well. They're all the same. They're all puppets controlled by the same powers that be, trying to push this agenda upon us. But we need to just now stop and say, no, enough is enough, because otherwise we're not going to have any manufacturing. We've now got to a point where, because this government tried to push electric cars upon these motor manufacturers, we're now in a position where there's over 1,000 people lost their jobs at Luton, at Vauxhall. That's 1,000 people lost their jobs, gone home, who's probably got families, who's got children. Shame on the government, shame on the governments for pushing these electric cars onto these motor manufacturers, because all they're doing is they're destroying businesses, destroying companies to push this stupid EV agenda that they know won't work. They know won't work, but otherwise they'd be driving around in them themselves. It's absolute madness. I own an EV. I'm telling you, as 3 years of owning one, or is it almost? And I've done 3 years, haven't I? It's not viable. Friend of mine as well, we're going to talk about electric vans now as well, because I think Vauxhall were producing electric vans as well. If you listen on the radio, Ford and Vauxhall, they're trying to get you to have electric vans, and it was on the radio earlier on, take an electric van for a test drive. Who on earth in their right mind would buy an electric van if you're trying to run a business? You're trying to get from place to place, you're carrying stuff. The more weight that you carry, the less mileage and the less range you're going to get. Well, a friend of mine she, in fact, it's the blonde angel who I actually film with. Her friend has bought an electric van off of somebody else because it only got 70 miles of range, and she's going to try and ask to borrow that van. I said, yes, borrow it, and then if I'll try and get her on the phone later if I can. If not, we'll try and get her on another episode. But she says we'll try and borrow that electric van and we'll take it for a drive. 70 miles of range, that's empty. That's when there's nothing in it. So where's the logic? Where's the logic from the government thinking that these businesses are wanting to buy electric vans? You imagine putting something in it. I met a guy up in Scotland when I was doing a video last year, and they was coming from Milton Keynes, and they stopped 4 times, I think it was from memory, to charge, and they didn't get up. He says we could have got up and got the job done and come back. It was that much time to charge. Yet the government are trying to push this EV agenda on people, and it's clear it doesn't work. But they put all these things in place, and they get certain YouTube channels, and they subsidise them to push the EV agenda across, and you know, make it look positive and it all look great. And if you look at the adverts on TV, it makes me laugh. I worked in advertising, I worked in marketing, and that was my thing. I did all the graphics and the marketing, and you'll see the woman comes out, the children are all happy, they're running, the little dog runs out, they're kicking a little beach ball about, the sun's shining, they jump into the back of the car, she unplugs her, you know, a car, car's clean by the way, not dirty, then she just puts the charger back, they get in, they go on the open road, kids are lovely and playing nicely in the back of the car. That's not real. Harriet and James fighting all the time and screaming and kicking, and the roads are all blocked and there's traffic jams. Nothing like that on these adverts. They make it look rosy and all nice for you, and I don't blame them, because they've got to meet their target of selling electric cars, or they'll get fined. Who on earth gives the government the right to dictate to motor manufacturers how many electric cars that they must sell, or they'll get fined? Shame on the governments, shame on them for pushing this madness, this EV agenda upon us that we don't need and we don't want. Shame on them. And as I say, be careful what YouTube channels you watch, because they are paid to actually push this agenda upon you. I'm not going to say which ones are paid, etc., but just be very, very careful. Right, 93%. I'm not fully charged. I'm not fully charged now. Right, onwards. Oh, Jaguar E-Pace there. A lot of people asking me, saying I never had my say on the new Jaguar campaign. I've kept quiet about it, to be honest, because I just think it's beyond a joke, isn't it? I mean, don't get me wrong, if you want to dress, you know, like a Teletubby or whatever, or dressed in rubber or some coloured rubber, go ahead, knock yourself out. But we live in, it's just laughable, isn't it? Again, from a marketing point of view, how can you kill something off? It's like Apple changing their logo, and I know they've changed it from colour to, you know, white and to blue, but essentially it's the same logo. And the same with Coca-Cola, essentially it's the same logo. But Jaguar, what have you done? I mean, it's like, oh well, we've got to make electric cars now and nothing but let's just kill the whole thing off. Let's just have a laugh. Let's just take the mickey out of people. It's crackers, honestly. Where are we going? I am so glad I'm 54, because I feel sorry for my son who's 4 and my youngest daughter and my grandchildren as well. I feel sorry for the younger generation that they've got to grow up. They're going to end up going nowhere. They're going to end up living in 15-minute cities and not going anywhere. They're going to be on public transport. And I don't want to use public transport. I don't want to sit next to some smelly person picking the nose or whatever, or not washed for a week, and it's not even viable, is it? It's like, now I'm going to the Lake District, what am I going to do? Get on a train that costs me an absolute arm and a leg that you can't get a seat on? No. And they're putting bus lanes into places and bike lanes into cities. You can see what's happening. Bus lanes and bike lanes. The bike lanes are empty and the cyclists, I've got a bike in the back of here. I've biked on the road before. I don't go in the cycle lanes because they're full of rubbish and grit and you end up slipping, so you use the roads. They're pointless. And bus lanes, half of them are empty. So you're ending up with one lane for a car, then a bus lane and a bike lane. It's clear what they're doing. If they wanted us all to have electric cars and everything was smooth, they wouldn't be replacing the roads with bike lanes and bus lanes. It's clear. Their intention is not to have anybody, this is in my opinion, not to have anybody driving at all, because they know electric cars, if we all drove them, it wouldn't work. I mean, you can't, it just will not work.
One of us.
Right, my friends, I've got Geoff Buys Cars on the phone here. If you don't know who Geoff Buys Cars is, then where have you been? Head over and subscribe to his channel. He does a lot more videos on cars, etc. And he loves Volvos. Geoff, how are you?
I'm very good. Guess what I just bought?
A Volvo.
Yes.
Oh, how did I guess? Geoff buys Volvos. Which one is it?
A blue one. It just looks like all of the other ones that I buy. In fact, you'd like this. It's 140,000 miles. The chap's owned it for the last 11 years. Loads of money spent on it, and it's absolutely immaculate.
Here you go, Lee. You phoned me. I just picked this car up. 140,000 miles. It's absolutely immaculate. There's not a mark on it. This is a diesel. It'll do 45 miles to the gallon all day long. Heated seats, sunroof, air conditioning. Why would I need a brand new electric car? This is brilliant. Look at it, there's not a mark on it, and it's almost 30 years old, and if you look inside, it's absolutely immaculate. It's lovely. Same colour as your EV almost, isn't it, as well, actually? Except this can go a lot further. A lot further. 600-700 miles range on a full tank in this.
I don't know why anyone would... It's like all the car you could ever need.
Where will my car be in 11 years?
There's like just outside Halzoe, and there's a real big like dump, like a landfill site. I would guess it would be, you know, in one of them.
In one of them. Very quickly, Vauxhall, right? Vauxhall, the government are pushing their EV agenda, whether it be, and I've said I'm not right wing or left wing, because I've thought of it this way. They're both, wings are both attached to the same thing. They're both going in the same direction. They both have the same agenda, whether you're left wing or right wing. It's just something that they've made up. They're all liars. It's the same agenda. They're pushing something that won't work.
I think you're making a very good point there, yeah, because the left wing, right wing thing no longer applies, because what they've done is they've made out everybody who is basically normal and has normal family values. We're now right wing, but I think you're correct. The right wing has now detached from the left wing, and the left wing is going so far into the loony bin that we don't even want to be on the same plane.
It's nuts. I've said that you need two wings, and they're both going in the same direction. They're ruining the motor industry because they're giving them targets that aren't achievable. Hence Vauxhall closing their Luton plant and people losing their jobs, not putting food on the table for their families because they know damn well that these electric vehicles won't work. I've said it for 3 years and I've driven around in one. Funnily enough, today I'm going to the Lake District, right? 260 miles of range I normally get in summer. I'm struggling to get just over 200 miles of range in the cold.
I did an experiment yesterday in my very thirsty, not very sensible 25 miles to the gallon Volvo. And when you said to me that on a public charger at 48 quid you can get 200 miles, well, I got more than that out of a 30-year-old petrol automatic Volvo. So what's going on?
It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And Blonde Angel, her mate, has just bought an electric van off somebody, 70 miles of range, right? She's going to lend it, she's going to try and borrow it off of him. 70 miles of range, that's with nothing in it.
70 miles range with nothing in it? I can almost walk that far.
Yeah, they're pushing this agenda upon us and it makes no sense. How many more motor manufacturers are going to go under because of this ridiculous agenda that they're trying to push, that they don't adhere to themselves because they're driving around in Range Rovers?
It's a good, I mean, probably all of them. Probably all of them. They're probably all going to go bust. Hey, I just got an email from Auto Trader, actually. Last chance to win a Skywell BE11, right? That's the email they just sent to me. I thought a Skywell BE11 was some form of like bike or a skateboard or something, but that's a car. Have you ever heard of a Skywell BE11?
A Skywell BE11. Where did they get these names from? I mean, they even make they make the cars look crap. So electric cars, for a start, look crap, apart from the Taycan, which we know, right? And maybe the e-tron, right? So they give them crap names and they look crap. Years ago, cars used to have cool names, didn't they? The Cortina, the Capri. Think of some other ones. They had cool names. Stingrays.
Yeah, like Barracuda.
Yeah.
Barracuda was a good name for a car, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. But now we've got garbage names. It's just like, I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, they're trying to push this agenda, but then it's like the motor manufacturers are thinking, we don't want to do this, so what can we do? The government are giving us these figures, we've got to do it. I know, let's make them look crap and give them bad names, just because we want to try and, you know, not go against we want to go against the agenda. It's nuts. I don't get where it's going. We're going to end up literally not driving 15-minute cities. If you've noticed, town, cities, bike lanes, bus lanes. And if they were really serious about electric cars, they'd actually open up and put more roads in and more lanes, but they're taking lanes away.
Yeah, I think the thing is, if you're an intelligent person, you have to look at the whole thing that's going on, and your only conclusion has to be that there's something more going on here than trying to save the planet with environmentally friendly cars. It's much more nefarious than that, and it doesn't take much digging to see that, yeah, it doesn't add up.
We know that it doesn't work. You and I have done, in fact, we need to do the test again now. Now it's a 3-year-old car. Let's do the John O'Groats to Land's End thing again when it's cold, when I'm back from the States. And let's see again now. I think you'll find you should have used the inbuilt navigation system. There's always somebody saying something. And I've said on camera, I won't rabbit on about this, but there are certain YouTube channels that are subsidised by the UK government to push this EV narrative.
You can tell they're subsidised by the UK government and that they have financing from above by their viewing statistics.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not going to mention them, but, you know, because I don't want to get into trouble. I'm at 89% now, by the way, on my battery. And when I left Mansfield, I was fully charged, by the way. So, but now I'm not. I'm 89%.
That's just painful. Just quickly then, on the channel that we're not going to name, right? This channel has 1 million subscribers, and we know that they are financed by the government, yet their last 3 videos have only done 63, and 58,000 views. Now, if you go over to my Poxy YouTube channel, which doesn't have any government finance, and I've only got 140,000 subscribers, my view yesterday did 69,000 views, and that was just me chatting in the car. So it's almost like not only is the narrative not working, but they haven't got enough people willing to suck up the narrative to bump up the viewing figures.
It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I want to try and get fully charged, by the way, when I get to Porsche up at the lakes, at South Lakes. Do you reckon I'll be able to get... I should get fully charged up there, shouldn't I?
You might be able to get fully charged up there as well, yeah. South Lakes is a pretty good one. Coffee's free, so yeah, you should be able to get yourself fully charged up there.
Yeah, excellent. Right, well, I'm going to Meadowhall now because I've got a phone that I'll actually tell you this bit. I've got a phone that I'm giving to my daughter Harriet for Christmas, and it needs a new battery because the battery's depleted.
That's the thing, like, we know that batteries deplete because we've had mobile phones, and yet we're all going to go, oh yeah, I'll definitely have a car that's powered by that. What a chance.
Can you say, onwards, my friends?
Onwards, my friends. Let's go and get fully charged.
Right, Meadowhall done. I didn't film any of that. I didn't want to bore you with the Apple Store. However, it does need a new battery. It's depleted, so I've left the phone with that's going to cost me £80 odd, which really, if you think about it, I mean, that's a lot of money, but you think about how much it would be to replace the batteries on your car with the amount of batteries that are in that. While I was in there, incidentally, the ministers, it came up on the news in there on the big screen, the ministers are having a meeting because they're now saying the targets that they've set for electric vehicles is not working. Can I just say, you're a bit late. It's too late, because you've just lost 1,100 people their jobs in Luton. You've put families on the breadline because of your ridiculous, stupid targets for electric vehicles. Shame on you. How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you?
Coming up to Christmas as well. What a great Christmas present. You complete idiots. Unbelievable. Right, my friends, so we have got 43 miles left to go. I'm down to 45% of battery, 96 miles of range. So I'm going to go and charge up. Now, what I need to do now, I need to take my eyes off the road here and do this, which is controversial, but you have to do this. So I'm going to go into my settings in here, go into my charge, and now I need to go into pre-cool and heat. And I need to pre-cool it, so pre-cool on. So I'm now pre-conditioning my battery so that I get a faster charge when I get to Porsche South Lakes, so that I can get a faster charge there, because it'll warm it up in this weather, so it gets the optimum temperature. And I have a call coming in, so I'll see you in a minute. Right, milk float off, onto park, milk float off, and let's get charged up. We're now at Porsche South Lakes, so we're going to get charged up. I'll let you know how much it's going to cost. In fact, let me just turn back on again. We are now at, take note, 3:47 in the afternoon. We've got 74 miles of range left, 34% of battery, and we've got 23 miles to our destination. So, take note, and we'll get this milk float off now, and let's go and see what it's going to cost and how long it's going to take. Right, let's plug it in. Right, plug that in and then get my card. Porsche card. There we go. Initiating charging. Preparing. Preparing. It's cold. Preparing. I'm glad it's not raining. Oh, charging. 34%. And there we go. It's come up on my watch. Don't miss. Check the app to reveal updates. Right, come on over here. I need a word with you. Right, a little bit of shameless promotion. Now, just stick with me, because it is quite fun, this one. The company sent me this little battery charger, right? Now, I'm always charging batteries. I've got laptops, I've got iPads, I've got phones here, cameras and everything. And they said, can we send you one of these? And I said, yes, you can. I'll put it on the channel. They've not paid me to promote it, but bear with me, because there's one thing that I want to tell you. And I want to tell this company as well, right? I've got some little notes here. It's an Asperex 65-watt charger, 20,000 milliamp power bank or something like that. Electric car, 65-watt super fast charging, dual USB, charges 3 devices simultaneously, USB-C input and output, LED smart display, and it's $39.99. I'll put the link for the where you can buy it from in the description down below, their Amazon link. And to be honest, it's great. I've been using it. I can charge my laptop. The biggest drawback now, Asperex, if you are watching this video, right, it won't charge my Taycan in my electric car. Can you make one, please, that is big enough, maybe to put in the boot like this, that I can charge my electric car with? And that'd be fantastic. I mean, it's great. It charges my laptop and my iPad and my phones and my watch and everything, but it doesn't charge my electric car. But it is fantastic. Highly recommend it, and it's really good value. So click the link in the description down below. Right, I'm going to go in for a coffee now, and a little bit of a wee into Porsche. But there you go. So shameless promotion, but it is very good. And Asperex, thank you very much. Brilliant. Right, come on, and do think about making one for a car. Do they make one for a car? I mean, if they don't, make one, Asperex. Make one for an electric car. Then you won't have range anxiety, will you? Because you can have this big charger in the boot and just plug it in.
One eternity later.
Oh, Right, my friends, so it's 90%, put my teeth back in, 97% charged. It's 424 at the moment, and we're up to 215 miles of range. I reckon that'll be enough. There's no point in waiting for it to be 100%. Very nice in Porsche South Lakes, by the way. Lovely people in there. Got a coffee and a few biscuits. I stole a few more actually. Well, I mean, I guess they're in the price of the car. 98% now actually, and 215 miles. So let's get this unplugged and find out how much this has actually cost me. Do me a favour, please do me a favour, do hit the subscribe button to the channel. It will push this content out to other people to educate them that this is not the way forward. Standing, it's all very nice. I mean, I love Porsche South Lakes, but I'd rather get to my destination rather than standing around waiting for a battery operated car to charge. Right, let's get it unplugged. Stopping charging. Come on. There we go. 98%. That's all your... There we go. Can you see that? There's all your details. State of charge 98%, 35 minutes and 40 seconds. Come on, get out. Back in there. Right, I'm trying to find out how much it's cost me, but it's not actually come through yet, because what it does is it comes through on your Porsche app, and it's still showing where I charged at Porsche Leeds. So I think what I'm going to have to do is, because I don't want to have to wait around in the cold, let me just try one more time. History, come on, it's now trying to contact the server, bear with me. No, still Porsche Leeds. What I'm going to do is, because it might take an hour to come through to let me know what I've been charged, I'll put it on screen now. You'll probably see it already on screen, and that's my costs there, so you know exactly how much it cost me, and you can see how many miles that's put in, etc. So and you've seen how long it takes as well. Do me a favour, please. I am trying to get the message across that electric cars are not the way forward. They're not the answer. In fact, they're an answer to a problem that doesn't really exist. And what the government are doing is they're getting rid and they're damaging places like this. They're damaging motor manufacturers. They're damaging motor dealerships like this by giving them unachievable targets, when really what they should be doing is, if they want to actually bring in electric cars and let people have them, give them incentives, but don't penalise them for not selling the cars or selling a certain amount. These governments are damaging the industry, so please share this video. I own an electric car, and I'm telling you, unless it really suits your purpose and you're just driving around locally, they're not the answer to transportation. So please put that message across, spread it on social media, and hit the subscribe button and share the video and give us a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.